Remain standing for the prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this gathering this evening. We just thank you for each and every individual here. Pray that you watch over them and guide them and strengthen them. And we just thank you for the opportunity this evening to discuss city business and be mindful of the fact that we do not have all the answers. We've never professed to have all the answers, and please forgive us for any time that we've acted as if we do. We pray for your guidance. We pray for your wisdom. And we pray for your presence in this meeting. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Jan, if you would, roll call.
Brandon Elmore, not here. Bob Leahy.
Here.
Jason Brewer.
Here.
Tim Heiss.
Here.
Tito Frias.
Here.
Okay, I didn't know what that was. I trust you've had an opportunity to review the consent agenda as presented. If you have any questions or comments, if not, I would entertain a motion for acceptance.
I will move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
We have a first, do we have a second?
A second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Consent agenda approved as presented. We have no presenters on the agenda, so department reports, starting with myself. First, I want to issue an apology, public apology. Last meeting we had, even if I feel that someone is being berated in front of me, even if I feel, just feel, compelled to say something. So I apologize, I was wrong. So my apologies. And also, I did a horrible analogy too in talking about my income and the fact I don't do this job for the pay. And I made a reference to a restaurant salary, which was not in any way, shape, or form meant to disparage anybody that works at a restaurant, because I worked at a restaurant in my life. I've worked in a couple restaurants in my life, and that is the hardest work. And I'm very proud and thankful for the people that do that. And it wasn't meant to convey that at all. It was just an absolutely poor attempt on my part to make an example or to make an analogy. So again, my apologies. So absolutely, positively was wrong in that sense. So we also have obviously new surroundings. This is not where we normally meet because we were anticipating a few extra people this meeting, and so we knew we couldn't jam everybody into the regular council chambers comfortably or safely for that matter. And nor was it optimal to go to the community room because we get too many complaints when we've been in there before that nobody can hear. So this was already wired for sound, so that's why we're in here for this evening. And then lastly, we do have, since we do have a number of individuals, I think, that are wishing to speak, I've received guidance from the state basically regarding a time limit for each and every individual that will honor for everybody that wants to speak. So everybody's welcome to speak, and everybody will have the same amount of time to be fair. So, and also, State Line Heritage Days is coming up. That's August 4th through the 7th. And then on that 7th, which is a Sunday, the Lions Club are celebrating their 75th anniversary, which is awesome. And that will be at the park, and they're going to dedicate the covered bridge. So, good stuff. So, Clerk Treasurer, Jan, do you have anything?
No, I don't have anything tonight.
All right. Council members, Bob, let's start with you.
There was no area planning commission meeting in July. There was no petitions filed. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Jason?
I don't really have anything except I wanted to mention had a big turnout for the live music this past Saturday again, so always good to see that.
Awesome. Fantastic. And there is a car show coming up again.
The 13th of August, Saturday.
Fantastic. And behind the coffee shop.
Yep, behind Cars and Coffee and Roots Deli.
Awesome. Fantastic. Tim?
I don't have anything.
All right. Tito?
I just want to apologize if you have difficulty hearing me. I came down with COVID last week and have done the recommended 5 days quarantine, and now I'm on 5 days using a mask. So I won't be touching anybody, and don't try. Okay, so I do have a couple things. One, and I did notice we changed the venue. Where are the official notices? I was asked, was this posted, the official notices, and I guessed, I think the News Gazette is one of them, but if I was wrong or whatever, if there are others, so that people know where to watch for these things.
Sure. Jan, did you want to cover that?
You're asking where the official notices are? You only have to post them at the place of the meeting, which it's been posted and was posted last week.
So it was posted at the council chambers downtown, okay. Also, I was told about a fire hydrant on Lenox Avenue. We've been talking about Lenox Avenue for several meetings now. But it's a fire hydrant that apparently is dressed in like a black trash bags and duct tape. And they tell me that it's been that way for about a year. Is that one of the ones that's going to be nicely painted, or do we know a story?
Do we have any update on that? Do we know?
Yeah, it's out of service because of it just failed. So it's been bagged and tagged. It's part of the replacement program that we have coming. Our hydrants have been ordered since shortly after the first of the year, and because of supply chain issues, we weren't expecting them in until sometime October, November of this year.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Steve, anything?
The only thing I have is the Board of Works awarded a bid today to demo 709 West Division for $8,700. So just keeping you guys in the loop, that house will be coming down very soon. I've requested a detailed work plan and a timeline, so as soon as I get that, I'll email that to everybody so you're aware.
Very good. Thank you. All right, old business. Ordinance 2022-09, which is the employee handbook, and this is on the second reading. Do we have any questions since the first reading? If not, I will entertain a motion for approval.
I'll move we approve ordinance 2022-09, employee handbook amendments on second reading by title only.
We have a first. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Jan, if you would, roll call vote.
Bob Leahy,
Yes.
Jason Brewer,
Yes.
K.I.S.,
Yes.
Tito Frias.
Yes.
All right, new business. The Art Association of Randolph County, I believe we should have some individuals that are wishing to present for this. If you could go to the mic, that'd be great. Sorry.
First of all, I have to tell you that I developed a little bit of a lisp, so if you hear it, don't make fun of me.
Oh, gee. You're good.
I fell and broke my jaw.
Oh, man.
Anyway, we're here today to talk, at least hopefully, talk you into approving a $10,000 budget line item for the Art Association. You know, just like every other organization, the Art Association has really suffered because of COVID. Most of our funds come because of events and fundraising events that we have. And we were completely stymied for almost 2 full years, which took its toll on our budget. On top of that, some of the grants that we apply for and typically get have been dramatically reduced just because of the budget problems. So the board, the Art Association Board, has been diligently trying to figure out how to make the Art Association sustainable, so that when crises like this arise, that we know that we can survive. So we have been working and came up with a strategic plan that is really threefold. And we did this in conjunction with our representative from Indiana Arts Council, who's been very helpful. The first thing is that we want to become more a part of all Randolph County, not just Union City. So, and we want people to think of us as the Art Association of Randolph County. So we are making a diligent effort to contact every city and town and community in Randolph County, no matter how big or how small, and set up a meet and greet to tell them who we are, who we want to be, and how we think they can benefit from us and what we have to offer them. We really believe that we have to be there in their community to get them to participate and appreciate the arts. So that's the first focus. The second focus is membership on the board. We know that funding isn't the only issue that makes for dynamic organizations. We really have to work on our membership. So we are making a concerted effort with the help of Scotty Harvey, who knows almost everyone in this whole community and county, to identify people in every area, every town, every city, every community, who not only have an appreciation of the arts, they don't have to be an artist, just an appreciation of the arts, and also willing to put in the work to make it a possibility in their community, and also have some influence in their community. So that's our second thrust. Our third one is why we're here tonight. We have a plan to ask every municipality, every town, every city, including Randolph County itself and Randolph County United, to contribute financially, with the caveat that we know that places like Saratoga and Huntsville and some of the other jurisdictions are not going to be able to contribute financially, but what they can contribute is in-kind services. We need people to help us with the landscaping. We need painting that needs to be done. We need some repairs that need to be done to the little caboose in the back. Those are the kinds of things that we can do with an in-kind match from people who can't afford to offer the finances. We intend to ask Winchester for the same amount, the $10,000. We intend to ask the county for twice that. We intend to ask Randolph County United for $10,000. Now, whether we get all that or not, that amount of money, we will bank a portion of it with the Community Foundation, but we will also then earmark that for specific projects for each and every one of those communities. On top of that, we believe that if we have an annual contribution from these entities, and we top that off with donations, sponsorships from the businesses here in Randolph County, and some in Dark County as well, because we also work with Mississinawa. So, and we work with Dark County Main Street. So we think that if we can stay focused on these three objectives, that we can really make the Art Association of Randolph County a real jewel in that plan of quality of life for Randolph County. That's it, folks.
Guys, what questions do you have?
Well, I think she answered all of them.
What are the main?
I did send you, I emailed everybody this is the handout that we're going to be using. We're also working on a trifold folder brochure when we do our little dog and pony show to every jurisdiction. And then I also sent you the 3 points that we've worked on diligently, and we meet twice a week to try to figure out exactly where we're going. Yes?
What would be some of the main uses for the funds that you're requesting?
The main uses for Union City, initially, we're looking at event planning and particular projects. One of the things that we do, and we do well, are kids' activities. We have a lot of kids' activities through the summer, but we've been really limited because of finances this year. So we're going to look at projects. One of the things that I told the mayor is, if you agree to provide us with the funds, that we will be glad to give you an accounting list of every cent spent. We have a new treasurer, and he is very detailed-oriented, and I think he has really brought some real professionalism to our books. And we'd be more than willing to give you monthly, quarterly reports on how it, and we intend to do that with every jurisdiction that we're soliciting.
Do you guys have any other questions or any? So, are you looking for a decision tonight, or are you looking, how would you guys like for us to proceed?
We'd really like you to make a decision tonight, because we're going to meet with Winchester shortly, and we'd like to say that Union City has already stepped up. And it gives us great ammunition then to go to the county.
These funds, I believe, or this request, I believe, falls under the allocation permissible under ARP, our
Yes.
ARP funds. So, Jan, I think we have 52,
There's 42,000.
42,000 left in ARP. So that's not been allocated specifically for various and sundry items like this.
ARP is the American Rescue Plan?
Correct.
Well, I feel like, as far as community impact, the Art Association is already in place, already had programs, longstanding organization, so we're not reinventing the wheel by supporting that. And, it's not like trying to create something from whole cloth to use funds like that for. So I think it'd really be I feel like an appropriate use of those funds.
Okay. Bob, Jason, Tito, what do you?
I mean, this, arts in general is dear to my heart, so I'm all for it.
And the children and the kids.
I will say that's turned a light on for me. Seeing the last show that was at the depot that was impressive. That was, in fact, one of the students now has her artwork on display at the coffee shop.
At the coffee shop,
Yeah,
yes.
and that was.
And she is a natural.
Oh, yeah, that's very nice.
My mother did a lot of educational programs with the Art Association for many years.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yes. We still have those records.
Well, I would, if so moved, I would entertain a motion.
I'll move we allocate $10,000 from art funds for the Art Association for stated purpose.
I'll second.
We have first and second. Jan, if you would, roll call vote.
Bob?
Yes.
Jason Brewer?
Yes.
Tim Heiss?
Yes.
Peter Frias?
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Linda. All right. Now, any visitors wishing to address the board, if you would, please come to the mercy, sorry. Come to that thing right there, the podium. Sorry. Oh, mercy. Yesterday was Sunday. And state your name and address and nature of business. And we will start the timer.
Oh,
Go ahead.
My name's Larry Brown, 321 Lenox Avenue. State of business is public safety. To start with, I got a question to start with. I mean, what percentage do Mr. Mayor and the council emphasize on public safety in Union City? 80%, 90%, 100%?
I don't understand the question. Could you repeat that, please?
What part of public safety do you like implement? Do you support public safety like 80% of the time, 100% of the time?
100% of the time.
100%? Okay, reason that question is back on June 27th, it was brought up at the meeting about carts and parts, about golf carts parked out on 27 down Lenox Avenue and so forth. And as far as I've seen as of today, that's been 28 days ago that no golf carts has been moved. Me personally, I was pulling off of Lenox about a week ago and almost got hit by a semi. I had my pickup truck and my landscape trailer on behind it and pulling off, and the semi was coming around the curve there. I don't know if he was going the speed limit or going over the speed limit, but I was almost hit there by that. And I went back and looked at the video from the meeting and stuff, and a comment was made that there's been no accidents there. Are we going to wait until there's an accident there and a semi hit someone on the driver's side and potentially hurt someone or fatally killing them before we get golf carts moved back off the road? And also, the golf cart company has been parking what I think is illegal golf carts on Lenox Avenue because I don't see no registration sticker on them that's in the ordinance, nor a lot of them don't have the slow-moving triangle or the flags on them. They've actually parked up like in a parking spot up on the curb for, I mean, not extended long periods of time, but long enough that I think it's illegal. Where I've witnessed myself that vehicles had to stop and wait for other vehicles to come by because there was golf carts parked on the roadway. I've also witnessed semi trucks coming down through there that making deliveries on both sides of the roads with a forklift out in the middle of the road where cars has had to stop and wait on them. People walking their kids with strollers, walking their dogs, has had to get out of the way of semi trucks or golf carts going up and down the road because they use that Lenox Avenue there as
25 seconds.
To me, like a test track to see if their golf carts are working, of the illegal golf carts. If they're registered and stuff, I don't have a problem with that, but all the ones that's not registered and parking there and so forth. And then we got garbage truck coming in at 3 a.m. in the morning, dumping the garbage where the commercial business has moved further into the residential area. So I wish I had a little bit more time because I do have some more about that, but
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, oh, wait, I think I got it. No, and we have discussed this, right? I brought it up a couple times, I think, at meetings where at least when we're going from Lenox onto Columbia Street, there's a visibility issue towards the left. You can't see if there's a fast oncoming semi-truck in this case or other kinds of vehicle because the carts are parked right up to the edge of that curve, the 28 where the curves into Columbia Street.
They're actually parked in the grass up.
In the grass even now.
Yes, sir.
So, and we had said that we would approach them and ask them to, take them away or move them further away from the curb. Have we done that? Can we follow up on that, please?
Absolutely. All right, anybody else wishing to address council?
Hi, I'm Josh. I wasn't even going to come tonight, but since you've gathered an audience here for me, Mr. Mayor, I figured I might as well show up and deliver. So I'm here delivering. I'm glad that you apologized for the way you acted last meeting. And I want to talk to the people of Union City here. I'm not here trying to attack your city. That's not what I'm doing. That's not my goal. My goal is I was advised by certain citizens who cannot make it to these meetings and come address things for them. That's all I am doing. It's not a core with you guys, with the city. I love the city. It's a beautiful city. My kids come here and they play sports, and as do your kids come to our town and play sports. Our towns are like brother and sister as far as I'm concerned between Winchester and Union City. The problem I have is the fear this government has whenever a citizen stands up and starts questioning them. You've called the state police, you've called the sheriff, and we've been graced with the presence of Mark from the Ohio side. But I don't understand why it's so hard to answer simple questions without having a fear to call police officers to deal with these citizens versus just be transparent. That's all we ask for is transparency. If we have transparency, there will be no need for anger and foul words and people's feelings to get hurt. Steve, I do have a question for you, if you would like to oblige me. How do you clock in for 2 different jobs? I've gotten the time cards, I'm pulling those public records now, but how do you put in 80 hours a week doing 2 jobs? And then on top of that, since my time's ticking quite fast, I wanted to bring up to the council Chapter 158 of the Rental Registration and Inspection Program, and how you guys have this program here that has so many parts of it that are unconstitutional and a violation of the 4th Amendment. And I have the IC code here, right here, which I'm limited on my time, so I won't get into all that, but I do want to let the city of Winchester, or Union City, know if there is anybody that has or has been punished for this rental registration, and I suggest everybody look into this because this is something your town is doing to renters and owners of the same. And if anybody has been violated by this, contact me, and I will speak with you, and I will be putting together a class action lawsuit to take on the city with this illegal amendment, unless you guys would like to speak on it at all. Do you even know which ordinance I'm speaking of? Nobody? It's been passed since 2017. Okay, well, I will keep coming to these meetings and we'll keep doing this show and pony till we get some transparency. And I really hope, like Winchester did, start showing some transparency, and I really hope you guys would. And you wasted your time calling the cops. Time's up.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to address council?
All right. My name's Matthew Allen. I live off 238 South Columbia Street. And I just wanted to come here today, and I want to thank you guys. You know, since I've been in this community 2.5 years, fresh out of prison, did 12 years day for day. I'm going to be honest, my first week here, Mayor Chad, you reached out to me and extended your hand, and been nothing but a blessing. You know, you supported, we started a minority business here in Union City. And Shoemaker, man, you've been a blessing. You've definitely worked with us hands-on, getting us contracts and just trying to get us up off our feet. And I just think you guys need to be recognized for that. You know, from Kobe Wells to all the leadership that I've met since I've been here, I haven't been judged. We haven't been discriminated against. If anything, it's been the complete opposite. And I just think people need to realize and recognize that as well. No one's perfect. I understand that, but you know what? You guys have definitely been a blessing to me and my family. You know, we hand out food boxes in this community to the less fortunate, and Chad has always been first and checking on me, seeing how he can help. You know, we hand out to the minority community specifically because they don't get the free money. When we had all that free money coming in from the government, the Hispanic population here, where we come out of, we've been able to really bless them, and I'm just going to be, Chad was always there with us, supporting it, being with it, as well as Kobe Wells, and I just want to thank you guys for your service, each of you. I feel like you guys don't always get the recognition that you deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to address council at this time?
evening. My name's Bill Baker. And my wife sitting back there would like to thank council, the mayor, for the terrific job you've done. I know you've got some problems, but I'm sure you'll confront it and take care of it. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Anybody else wishing to address the council this time?
Good afternoon. I'm John Hannon, Pastor John, as Chad knows me. And I do not live on the Indiana side. I do reside on the Ohio side. I have the privilege of owning property in Union City, Ohio, and Indiana. I do want to thank you, Chad, for giving me the opportunity to use your pulpit this evening. And, you know, in the city, I mean, there's all kinds of things going on, but I have the privilege, being located, our church downtown, I had prayed and sought that building for a while, was told it was not an option and that it wouldn't happen, and the doors opened, and the Mayor Chad and you guys as council and Steve has blessed us by welcoming us to the community. As I started to say, because we come out the front door, I have the opportunity to have a front seat to see all of the work happening in our community. And I've been a real estate investor for over 20 years, and I really don't see the kind of work, the kind of effort, the kind of support the council and various individuals in our community, even the school system's involvement. It's just neat to see how everybody is coming together and revitalizing our community. I enjoyed Saturday, this past Saturday, seeing all the various carts and cars and the sound of music a block away. And of course, I was on my way to a Spanish service where I participate with another church in our community. There's just a lot going on, and there are so many towns in our state, in Ohio and Indiana, that don't have the vitality, the vigor, and the enthusiasm. So I am here to commend you and our citizens for supporting these efforts. And thank you, Chad, for all of your support for Crossroads Church.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have any other visitors wishing to address the board this time, or the council this time?
Hi, I'm Wendy Smith, and I'm on the Randolph Eastern School Board. And I would just like to thank the city and the council and the mayor for your involvement working with our school and our superintendent and all the things that have been possible by our continued, you know, just being able to work with each other and partner on things. And it's just exciting to see what's happening in this town for our students, and thanks to the city, you know, things are looking up. And from 20 years of experience on the school board, I can tell you that you can get a lot of people that want to bend your ear with negative stuff, but when it comes to showing up at meetings, where are they? They don't always show up. It's real quick to make that phone call or make a tweet or blast everybody on Facebook. It doesn't take a lot to do that, just to tear people down. And it's terrible to think that this keeps happening to our town, where you see it on Facebook and it's just like, nobody's perfect and we're all trying, and it does not pay. I mean, I don't know what you guys get, but I know we're up to $800 now a year. And it's a lot. You know, you guys have twice the meetings, or, you know, more headaches than we do, but twice the meetings. There are not people lining up to take your spot and to be at these meetings or to help volunteer. And the brutality of negative people on you can be pretty hard, and sometimes you ask yourself, why am I doing this? Because it's like Chad said last time, you don't have to do this, but sometimes you stick it out. I do it for the kids, and I do it for our teachers, and to support our community that way. And I have to remind myself that over and over. So just keep reminding yourself you're doing something that makes our community better, and thank you. And keep doing what you're doing. And we're not perfect, but we'll keep trying. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address council at this time?
Yeah, I'm Wyatt Hufford. I'd like to say something about Steve. From what I've seen, Steve is a dedicated person for this city. I think he's done a great job. I see him at all hours of the day and night out there trying to do the best he can. And for somebody from another city to accuse anybody from this council, and especially Steve, that he has taken advantage of the situation, I think is wrong. Just wanted to make sure that everybody understand that. And Steve, thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to address council at this time?
If I start talking from here, do I get more than 3 minutes? So this is just an opportunity for me to thank the council. I'm Aaron Black, 525 Madison Avenue, also superintendent here at Randolph Eastern Schools. I said coming in, I wasn't going to say anything, just kind of sit back and take this all in. But I also know I've been on the hot seat on the same stage back last fall, and I understand I'm starting to get a little PTSD from this room. But with that being said, I do want to thank the council. I don't do this enough formally in this setting. I know I do face-to-face a lot of times, but the partnerships that the Randolph Eastern School and Union City has, it's bar none. I'm speaking on that at a conference in this fall, just talking about the partnership that we've developed from Vision Corner to the Hispanic resource event that Steve put together. It doesn't end. And one thing that I've learned about working with Steve and Mayor Spence here is the answer is yes, if we think it's a good idea and we figure it out. And that's one thing that I can say that I'm blessed to be a part of with my board, very supportive, and working with you all. I think without that partnership, the things that are happening don't get done. And to know that this job is extremely thankless, and you just sign up to take shots and don't get a lot of pat on the back. So I just want to say thank you for the job that you're doing, and just thank you for the continued support of the kids in this community.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address council at this time?
Jim Hufford, 1142 West Oak Street, Union City. 15 years ago, several of us, the ones even sitting on the council there, sat down and we came up with a contingency plan of what we wanted the future of Union City to look like in 5, 10, 15 years. And it was going pretty good. Then the state came along with the circuit breaker. We lost $2 million of our tax draw. We sat down and we brainstormed on how we were going to make up that money. And we did a pretty good job. Some things worked, some things didn't. And we know the ones that didn't work and the ones that did. But since that time, we have made a lot of progress. The city has grown. We have got new homes being built here. We have industries came back, and it's looking better all the time. And then we have people come in here and tell us that we got golf carts sitting too close to the road. Well, all you have to do is go and tell them and have them move them back. And they will. I don't see any problem there. There's a 10-foot law outside the city limits. Inside the city limits, there is no law on how close you can park to the highway. as long as you're off the main part of the highway. There is no law, because otherwise we couldn't park cars uptown. We'd have to put them on the sidewalk. You know, so, yeah, there's, and I don't know what ordinance that man was talking about, that from 2017, we passed a lot of ordinances. You know, I have no idea, and he didn't state which one it was, I don't believe. So, and until he does, then there's not much we can do. How can you correct a problem if he don't present it? I thank you.
Thank you. I believe, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Rhonda Fields, and I've been a part of the Union City community in my entire life, as were my parents and their parents before them. And I have a question for Mr. Shoemaker and Mr. Spence. How many hours do you work a week that you aren't paid for within your jobs? Because I personally know that you put in a lot more hours than you're paid for, as well as Officer Wells and anybody sitting on this panel. Because I bet people come up to you in the public all the time and ask you questions about these things that you deal with constantly when you're off the clock. And so really, you work a lot more than you're paid for, a lot more than you're given credit for, and you're not thanked enough. And for any of the officers that came out in support of their brothers, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other visitors wishing to address the board?
Hi, I'm Jeannie Collins, and I live on South Columbia Street. I work at Wasson's, and every second Saturday for the last 7 years, I have been uptown, and I have seen such a big difference in 7 years ago until now. And I do believe that that is all up to you people, that the way that things are approached, the cooperation between people. And it's lovely to see people actually get along, and for Steve to speak to me on the street, Steve to come out to Wasson's when I'm watering and go, I like this flower, Jeannie. A little friendliness in our community goes a long way. A smile, just being kind. We should all choose to be kind. Thank you.
I'm Chad Spence. I'd like to address the shortcomings about your mayor. I've known him for a while, so I feel like I can talk about him. He's got a lot of shortcomings. He is woefully inadequate for this job outside of God. Woefully. He was asked to be on council. He had no political aspirations whatsoever. He was asked to be on council. He obliged. He was asked to run for mayor. He said no many times. And then finally he felt like God was pushing him. He's this stupid optimist that when he was asked by Larry Ansball to help with Community Christmas, and now he's working 300 hours out the park every year. And people who play disc golf can vouch for that. He's nuts. He ran a business plan that he delivered by hand every door with he and his dad, and it was to help the downtown and housing. Those are his two main things, because he felt like those are the two things he heard the most about and wanting to help improve the community. And so that's what he has fervently sought after every day, morning and night. And he is so imperfect. He's so imperfect. And one of the hardest things that he's had to do in this job, and I think it all makes sense now why God was pushing me in this, because one of the things he's trying to grow in me is to love everybody. To love everybody. every single person in this room, no matter how much somebody may hate him or say bad things about him or just whatever the case may be, he's still charged by God to love that person. That's hard. He fails miserably at that a lot, but he's working on it. He should be home with his kids and his wife. He's got an amazing wife. It's his best friend. She is way out of his league, but he's got this crazy notion that if he helps make change, that maybe when he has grandkids someday, they'll want to be close. And so that he gets to spend time with his family. That's his hope. That's all he hopes for. And he hopes that there's people behind him running for this office that just blow him out of the water in terms of how good they do for this city. Thank you.
I ask that you please take me off the clock.
We can't, sorry.
Okay, then I'll go 2 or 3 rounds. I won't mention my name, but I own a home here in Union City, Indiana. I just sat beside this guy over here, and I want to ask everybody out here, is everybody from the same church?
No, I'm not.
I want to hear all the churches that you go to. Mention a church.
St. Mary's.
So we got Lutheran, we got Wesleyan, any others? Probably about 5 or 6, 7 churches. There you go. On outside. Thank you. My point is, I sit over here to a gentleman I've never met before. Pretty smug, pretty arrogant, as you probably all recognize and comments have been made for. God is a loving feeling. That's what he all wants us to have. Well, I sit beside this guy and he thinks it's all been announced at a church that all the church members come together and speak. He's wrong. If that was true, we'd all be one church, wouldn't we? We're a gathering of people from all across. We're made as one, as God intended everybody to be, as one. So you can mark that in your book, you're wrong. He did not make it clear what his Rule 17 was about, did he, when he first came? He didn't want to disclose it to you. But you guys made it clear, Mr. Uppert, thank you. That's what it's about, because he said it's about rental. It is amazing that somebody from another community would go out and create an issue with another community. I will stand up for this board and the mayor, which you all probably know who the mayor is to me. He had no clue I was showing tonight. A lot of you probably may not know who I am. You will after I leave. This city has gone to, excuse my English, but hell through the last 20 years or more. People that's been here for a while, you remember when Westinghouse, Body Company, Schellers, Triangle was all here. Do we need somebody from outside coming in to tell you what is wrong that has happened on a situation concerning maybe an ex-mayor? But why does it have to be brought to the board? Why does he have to try to humiliate a whole city over one issue?
10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Then start the clock over again, buddy.
No, I'm sorry, we can't.
We can't do that.
But I'm just saying, we are given freedom of speech and power.
I'm sorry, we need to stop.
Yes.
Please.
Somebody like me to continue?
No, we can't do that.
We do need,
Yep.
thank you.
Yeah, but just keep in mind, we're here for a reason. Love and support.
Thank you. Do we have anybody else wishing to address the council at this time? If not, the date of our next city council meeting will be Monday, August 8th at 6 p.m. The date of the next Board of Public Works meeting will also be Monday, August 8th at 1 p.m. I would hereby entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll move we adjourn.
We have a first, do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.